Good morning. I am here today to talk with you about the Trecena of Aq'ab'al. So I come down here before sunrise to give you this beautiful view over Lake Aq'ab'al. You can maybe just point out, I don't know whether my finger's even pointing in the right direction, Venus in the morning sky. Venus is on its descent right now. By the end of this Trecena, it will be going back into the underworld, actually on one Aq'ab'al according to the Dresden Codex. So this is one of the astronomical events that's kind of like happening right now. And for me, there is this kind of like rapid fire thing going on this week in particular, in that we have the conjunction of the nearly full moon with the Pleiades this week, which is something which particularly interests me. This will happen around about the 6th. It kind of depends on where you are in the world as to how conjunct the two are together. But around about the 6th on 1 Aq'ab'al, we will see the Pleiades and the full moon conjunct. And that's something that you'll see at sunset, okay? So kind of like if you go and look at the sky at sunset, kind of like you might just get that. And for me that's kind of interesting because there's an artifact called the Nebra sky disk, which shows this exact configuration. Now, in some cultures, the Pleiades were seen as the ancestors, and this time of the year is when the Pleiades rise at sunset. This is called the acronical rise of the Pleiades. And this can be seen as kind of like the ascension or the return of the ancestors to the sky. So that's kind of interesting timing. Now, in some ways, we might see that as connecting with the Day of the Dead or connecting with the Samhain or whatever, like however we want to put it. But actually, the interesting thing is that if we turn the clock back because of the way that the sky moves, because of the cycle of precession, that rise of the Pleiades, well, that happens now because of, kind of like the era that we're in. And if we were to look at it like 3,500 years ago, when the Nebra sky disk was made, we'd actually find that the Pleiades would be conjunct with the full moon actually in September rather than in November. So kind of like maybe that's not such a good gauge of things. But what is a good gauge of things and what doesn't move are the cross-quarter days. And on the early morning of the 7th of November, 2 Cat, that will be the day of Astronomical Samhain, okay? It's 45 days after the autumn equinox. It's 45 days before the winter solstice. It's the exact midpoint. And, there will be a lot of people who have been celebrating their Samhain as the 1st of November or the 31st of October and all that kind of thing. But actually, like if you're looking at kind of like alignments in temple structures, alignments in megalithic sites and that kind of thing, then really you need to look at the astronomical date, not the Gregorian date. We need to see it in that kind of way. And that, for me, is much more the way that the ancestors, the people of the previous ages, would have been using the movement of the sky. So kind of like, for me, if we were looking at it with regards to ceremony, for example, then using the astronomical alignment rather than the Gregorian date is probably going to get you a better result from your ceremony, as it were. And I think that kind of like whether it's the Day of the Dead or whether it is Samhain or however we want to put it, we should really be looking at the astronomical alignments rather than anything else. And so for me, that late night in the 6th of November in the Americas, early morning on the 7th of November in Europe, these are the actual points of Samhain. I think it's about 3:15 a.m. in UTC on the 7th. Okay, so there's a little bit of a interesting extra for you. I hope you find that interesting. And of course I'm going to, here I am at sunrise out in the dawn. I can still see Venus just about. Fuego's giving us a little display over there. There was a massive rumble as I was walking down here today. And this day, this time, is about the new dawn. It's about the revelation. It's about things becoming new, being renewed. So the Trecena of Aq'ab'al, a time of renewal, a time of beginnings. The dawn, the potential of the day. We don't know what the day is going to bring just yet. We don't know what potential it has just yet. It's like that first glimmer being planted, that first moment when we open our eyes. And we've got a Trecena, a 13-day period of novelty, of bringing new concepts into the world, bridging the dark into the light. So what new concept do you want to bring in? This is an ideal time for it. We're going to begin the Trecena on the 6th of November, on the day 1 Aq'ab'al. And this is kind of like the newest of the new concepts. Now, it amazes me how quickly the light of the dawn changes. I was down here virtually in the dark. It feels like just 5 minutes ago. And how quickly the darkness fades, how quickly Venus is fading in the sky, for example, in this moment right now. And for me, this is like when we wake up and we start off, we've got our dreams really clear in our head, and then they just fade, they melt away into the dawning light. And so it's a moment to grasp those dreams. It's a moment to grasp that concept, quickly grab your dream journal and start writing it down as to what concept you want to bring into the world. So a time of new concepts, a day of new concepts, a day of renewal. Now, if you've been following my work for some time, it's just about 10 years since I started blogging about the energy of the day every day. It's 10 years minus 13 days to be exact, of writing every day about the energy of the day. And I could see that as a new concept that I was bringing into my life. And I chose to begin on 1 Aq'ab'al. And so for me, 1 Aq'ab'al is a great day to begin a new project. If you've got a new concept that you want to bring into the world, 1 Aq'ab'al is one of the best days that you can begin to present it. Now, it's going to take some fertilizer, it's going to take some encouragement for that to happen. But now is the time, okay, to allow the light of the dawn to bring it the assistance that it needs to come in. From 1 Aq'ab'al, on the 7th of November, we then go into 2 Cat. So Cat, catch and release. Cat, the net, holding what it is that we want to carry with us in our world. What it is that we need to carry with us in our world. All the useful things. It can be our blessings. It can also be our burdens. And of course, the big point is to work out what we want to carry and what we no longer want to carry. And for me, when we combine Cat with the number 2, the number 2 is very definitive. The number 2 is very dualistic in its nature. It's 1 or 0, right? It's very binary in its nature. It's take it or leave it, quite literally. There is no middle ground there. It is just 1 or 0, okay? And so with that, it's very decisive on what you want to hold on to and what you want to let go of. I sometimes think of it, if we're carrying this net, this full of our abundance, but also full of our burdens, it's like to understand, kind of like what we're going to take out, what we're going to hold on to. And as I say, if there's no middle ground, there's no maybe in there. There's no possibility in there. It's a very definite yes or no. So, in this time of new dawns, in this time of new concepts, we might need to sort through and work out what it is that we want to take into the new day and what can be left in the previous day, what can be left in the previous time. And there's no maybe pile. It's keep, let go. Okay, so a great day for sorting out your life, as it were, as to what you want to hold on to and what you want to let go of. From 2 Cat, on the 8th of November, we will then go into 3 Can. So we have Can, the Nawal of power and wisdom, the Nawal of the serpent, the Nawal of the power that we hold within us. Can, the Nawal of the energy and the wisdom that we hold. And here we see it with the number 3, going within, being within us, the inner world. And sometimes the 3 can be a bit challenged in the outer world. It's kind of like we're not entirely sure. It's kind of like it doesn't quite make it to the way that we want it to work. And really, kind of like sometimes it's not about thinking of it like a blockage, it's thinking of it as a redirection. And the redirection is to take it inside, because the focus on the 3 day is on the inside. And so for me, 3 days can be very meditative, they can be very kind of like stay home kind of thing. They can be very much about introspection and going inwards. And on this particular 3 day, the focus would be the wisdom, the power within. Now, as I said, sometimes we can see it as like feeling blocked or obstructed, but that's on the outer world. And the whole point is kind of like, if you're looking for wisdom outside of you, you're not going to find it. Now, I know there's a bit of a cliche involved in that, but there's some days when it really is the time to go within, to find the wisdom and the power that you're already holding. If you're bringing that new concept into the world, on 3 Can, it's very important to spend the time reflecting on what power, what wisdom you already carry. From 3 Can, we will then go into 4 Kame. So we have Kame representing death, representing the ancestors, representing overcoming our fears. And here, combined with the number 4, the number which we could see representing the physical plane of existence, the material plane. And so 4 Kame I can very much see as representing the physical fears. It's kind of like this physical, kind of like what comes up. And as we step into this new world, well, maybe we've not been here before. And often when we step into something that we've not been around before, this can bring those fears out. And they might be very real, tangible fears. Kind of like fear of stepping out into the darkness, for example. What's out there? Kame is the one who transforms us. Kame is the one who helps us to evolve our soul. And for me, kind of like this is a day to face the physical fears in order to transform, in order to move through, in order to go up to a higher level. So, 4 Kame may bring these to the fore. Maybe there's something that you've been avoiding, because often with Kame days, it's kind of like that thing that we kind of like had in the back of our head is like someday we're going to have to face it, but like, that try and avoid it for as long as we can. 4 Kame might bring it forward. So it's time to call on the ancestors to bring you the strength to face your fears within the physical world. From 4 Kame, we will then move into 5 Kech. So Kech, the Nawal of the wilderness, Kech, the Nawal of the green place, the tree place, the mountain place, the connection with the wild, the connection with the animals. And it can bring strength and it can bring leadership. And it's about drawing on nature to bring us that strength. And here, when seen with the number 5, when seen with the number of work, seen with the number that requires us to put our energy into something, it's about putting our energy into our connection with nature. And, I often think that Kech days are perfect days to get out into the mountains, to get out into the forest, into the wilderness, however it might be. And, kind of like this is not always easy. Now, for me, this time of year, as you can see, it's pretty easy to get out into the wilderness, quite honestly. I think, anyway. Out into nature, because it's just so beautiful here at this time of year. But if you're in the north, then maybe it's really cold at this time of year. Maybe this is just not the time of year that you really feel like going out for a walk or going out to explore or something like that. But 5 Kech is sort of like asking us to put our energy into it. Putting your energy into connecting with the wilderness. Putting your work into it. Now for me, that work always brings great results. So it's certainly something which is worthwhile doing. It's going to bring you empowerment. It's going to bring you your connection with nature. It might bring you your determination that you need to bring that new spark, that new concept into the world. So it's time to pull your boots on, as it were, and kind of like get your strength up and get out into the wilderness to go and connect with nature and see what nature has to tell you. From 5 Kech, we then move into 6 Anil. So Anil, the day of ripening, the day of yellowing, bringing things to their fruition. The number 6, representing ultimate stability, representing the family. 6 Anil I consider to be I think it's one of the most favourable days of all, one of the favourable combinations of all. Because you've got this day which can represent the prosperity of the harvest, the yellowing of the corn. Connected with Anil, this is about our ripening. This is about bringing things to their abundance. And here connected with the number 6, which can represent family. But this is also the inspiration that comes from the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth coming together in the physical realm. So it's a great day to bring things to their conclusion. It's a great day. This is the Trecena, the time of the new concept. And here we can see it being ripened. It's understanding what we might need to draw on. It's asking for inspiration from the feminine and the masculine to understand how to ripen this thing, how to mature it into the physical realm of existence. It might be the time to take your harvest of whatever it might be, to finish up your project, however that might be. It's the day to receive that abundance physically. So, as I say, 6 Anil can be a great benefit for your family to bring whatever project that you've been working on to its abundance, to be guided by, let's say, the higher powers of how to bring that abundance into the physical realm, to bring stability and support to your family. From 6 Anil, we then move into 7 Toch. So Toch, the Nawal of payment, the Nawal of offering, the Nawal of service. And they're connected with the number 7, The number 7, representing finality, representing endings. Now, toch can be seen as the payment of debts. And the number 7 can be representing of endings. So if we see those two together, it's kind of like, I like to think of it as the final payment. And sometimes maybe there's something that we've been holding on to, maybe there's something that, kind of like we've been allowing to be a debt, a burden that we've been carrying for some time. And 7 toch gives us the opportunity to settle it, to finalize it, to say, right, okay, yeah, that's been hanging around for long enough. And I can't move into this new day, this new sunrise, if I'm still carrying that debt. I've got to resolve it. And so I often think of this idea of the 7 toch being rather like, I call it like a circuit breaker or something like that, of whatever we've been carrying, it's time to resolve it. It's time to pay off that debt so that we can move forwards, liberated and free from it. So if there is anything, you're kind of wondering, you kind of like, I know that I've got this kind of like, maybe I could finish the payment, maybe I could. Anyway, that's the day to be really finishing, paying things off, to clarify, to finalize it. It's done. Okay? It can be the service which finalizes that debt, however that might look as well. But it's a time to let it go so that you don't have to carry it forwards into the next phase of life. From 7 toch, we then move into 8 Tz'i. 8 Tz'i, the nawal of the guide, the nawal of justice, the nawal of unconditional love, also the nawal of the vices. And here with the number 8, the number which represents wholeness, the number which represents ceremony. So it's a great day to be making ceremony to bring justice. It's a great day to make ceremony, to give thanks for our guidance. It's a great day to ask for help on our path, because sometimes, if we've fallen into vices, we need that guidance. And perhaps as this Trecena of the new dawn happens, as the shedding light on things, perhaps this is something that we can shed light on. Maybe we need some help to find our guidance as well. That's something that we can ask for on that 8 Tz'i day. But it's about having faith. And perhaps, as we step out into the darkness of this Aq'ab'al Trecena, we have to have faith that the light is coming. We have to have the trust that we're like moving into the sunrise, that we're moving into the new day. And 8 Tz'i is a great day to gain that trust. It's a great day to be receiving that. And it's a great day to be making the ceremony, to ask for that to come in. From 8 Tz'i, we move into the very important day of 9 bats, bats, the day of the creativity of women. Bats, we can see the number representing life, the number representing the feminine, combined with the nawal of weaving and creativity. And we could see this as the weaving of life, which is, quite literally the creativity of women. It is a very strong and I would say positive day to be working with. A very strong day with the 9, a very positive day for creativity. So if there is something that you want to weave into life, bats is your day to do it. In this Trecena of new concepts, bats is the day to kind of like, again, really get weaving with it. Really get your paints out, get your paper, your pencils, whatever it might be. whatever form of creative expression that you have, Aq'ab'al is the day to bring it to life, to bring that beauty out into the world, because Bats is kind of like going to accompany you, to help to bring you that touch of artistic flair, that touch of genius to whatever it is that you want to create. From 9 bats, we then move into 10 So the nawal of the path, the nawal of the road, and here connected with the number 10, representing hands coming together, representing society, representing community, representing cooperation. And here with the nawal of the journey. So I think that 10 is a great day, kind of like to get together with your community, to get together with your friends, to go and explore something, because is all about taking to the road, taking to the exploration, going out and finding something new. Because just as it can be the road itself, is also about exploring new things, new concepts in this time of new concepts. Now, well, it's often interesting and more fun to share that road trip, to go out with people on an adventure, as it were, because I often see as being rather adventurous, simply because, is going out to explore the unknown. Well, that's an adventure in itself, isn't it? And so if you have the opportunity, 10 is a great day to make a journey, but in particular a great day to make a journey with your friends, with other members of your community. Now, that journey, that exploration, doesn't always have to be in the physical either. I often think, like, if there was, kind of like an idea about the certain combinations, 10 I kind of describe as the anthropologist, because we have the explorer with 10 communities, so it's exploring society, exploring community. So it's a great day to understand where you fit within the community, to perhaps to explore where your new concept might fit into the wider community. But either way, it's a great day to link up with others in order to get out there and find out what can be done. From 10 we then move into 11 and so we have the nawal of house and home, the nawal of the leadership, the staff, combined with the number 11, and the number 11 having some kind of like, number 11 is going off in all sorts of directions. And for me, this might bring some kind of new essence of leadership. Because we have which is steady. Supports the home, supports the community. It's all about leadership. It's about, kind of like, making sure that home, community, family thrives. That's what prime kind of like directive is. And here with the number 11, well, the number 11 is a little bit more erratic. It's going in all sorts of different directions. And so for me, it's kind of interesting, because the number 11 it's kind of like the opposite of because can be very steady, very down to earth and very grounded. And the number 11 is kind of like the opposite of that. Is very steady to ensure, prosperity within the community, to make sure things thrive. It takes things very gently. Whereas the 11 is charging into things. And so there's an interesting balance where the 11 kind of like, let's say, moves the forwards where it might not move before. And the kind of like steadies the 11. I think the combination together is really interesting, because this is kind of like the ability to go into different directions, to use our intuition to take us in different directions, to understand leadership in different ways, because what we could see is current leadership structures not working. And if we follow the same path, if we follow the same route, then we're going to end up with exactly the same result. And the only way to get a different result will be to follow a different path. And that, for me, is what that 11 brings in, that spontaneous exploration of a different route for leadership. And so this is where I think the 11, is a very interesting and inventive day. And for me, the 11s can become extremely creative because they're not afraid to follow their intuition and go down a different route, even if it's one that hasn't been followed before, that in some ways is going to shake up that leadership in order to bring more stability to our community. From 11 we then move into 12 Ish. 12 Ish, we have the Nawal Ish, the Nawal of the Mother Earth. We have the Nawal Ish representing our connection with the sacred sites, our connection with Mother Earth, our connection with our magic. And here, with the number 12, representing all of our life experience. And for me, as we're going through this Trecena of new concepts, this is kind of like coming to the end of it. And the 12 bringing together all of our life experience in order to connect with Mother Earth and bring out the magic. It's using all that life experience that we carry to understand exactly how we make our ceremonies, how we work with the altars, all of those kind of things, all coming together. And so Ish asks us to look after Mother Earth. Ish asks us, yes, to make our ceremonies, yes, to make our prayers, but also to tidy the Mother Earth, to look after her, to respect her and to love her like our mother. And here, with the number 12, this is saying, okay, what of our life experience can we draw on to help to work with Mother Earth in a more profound nature, to help to look after her? What of our life experience can we draw on in order to talk with Mother Earth, in order to make our ceremony, in order to bring what is required by our community and our family into the world, to have this deeper, more profound connection between us and Mother Earth through the use of our life experience. And then finally, on the 18th of November, we move into 13 Tz'ikin. So, Tz'ikin, the Nawal of the birds, all sort of like started making a bit more noise around me just as I started talking about them. The Nawal of the vision, the Nawal of the visionary, and here connected with the number 13, representing the ancestors, representing spirit. So 13 Tz'ikin, the one who, it's the vision that comes from the ancestors. 13 Tz'ikin, it's the illumination that comes from the ancestors. Tz'ikin representing prosperity that comes through being able to fly high, being able to see into the future, being able to see forwards. Tz'ikin representing our ability to see prosperity for the future. And here connected with the number 13, the connection with spirit. And so it's kind of like, for me, I mean, it feels very, very clear, the day to receive the vision from spirit, the day to receive the vision for prosperity from the ancestors. It's a very powerful day. It's a very abundant day, hopefully, when we can see clearly with the vision of the eagle into the future of how to bring prosperity for our family, how to bring prosperity for our community, how to bring prosperity for the future, for the earth. Because for me, Tz'ikin is looking not in the next 6 months, not in the next 9 months, not in the next 9 years, but really to the future. And we can see that in order for true prosperity to happen, the earth has to prosper as well. And for me, this is using the understanding, the connection with the ancestors, the connection with the spirit, in order to understand how to bring a prosperous vision into our world. So I hope that's been interesting for you, and I'll see you again in 13 days' time for the Trecena of Aq'ab'al. Thank you.